Okay, just double check my mic. Cool. Alright, so I think part of the problem with this toe is that it sort of comes up and then turns the corner. Like from the side, I give it this little bump, and maybe that just can't be there for this to sort of resolve. So, I think this pipe to 01 and hide it. What I'm gonna do is, let's see here, where are my edges? I got one here. Take this one. Looks like all these are vertical, all these cages, so I'm just gonna tap GG and tap it up there, or slide it up there. Then I'm going to take this. Yeah, it could be. Okay, take this. So basically, this whole row of edges or verts, and I'm going to use the Alt-S key and just try to flatten those down, more like that, so that it's not like that, it's more like that. I think that's going to make a difference. Just want to look at this real quick. Yeah. I feel like I want to add an edge in here just to sharpen this up. Sorry. Ugh, yeah. That's maybe not the most ideal shape on that, but again, it's kind of the first pass, so. Let me see. Look at the bottom of this real quick. Yeah, okay, that's good. I have to adjust maybe a little bit of this just to tighten up this gap in here a little bit later, but for right now it's fine. Okay, looking better. So yeah, it's just got a little more, less of a nose coming into it, so that's good. Also gonna take these two, maybe just nudge those down a touch. Take these. Sorry. Those. Let's see. So that has good loops. This doesn't have the greatest loop structure here. Because if I wanted to add a little more shape across here, like I can't, it just adds another loop, which I don't really want to be there. So maybe what I'll do, see if I can quickly rebuild this toe cap. So let me go into here, and I'll pick, let's see where my edge is. So there's one there. So let me press Shift D, P to separate it. That's probably the sole somewhere up here. Yeah. I'm just gonna pull this out. Go in edit mode. Just get rid of this. All those verts back there. Okay. Let's take those, maybe pull them down to there. Extrude in the Z direction, maybe till just below the top edge of the sole. Extrude in the Z one more time, just close by. So let me see. Just extrude it in the Z and then just scale it on the Y. It's cool. I'm just trying to look at how to most effectively start bridging up some of this stuff. Because overall the shape of this lighter gray one isn't bad, it's just the flow is not quite right. So let me see here. Let me go back into the gray one really quickly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is come into here. Let's see, I'm just gonna add an edge. I'm just kind of visually trying to look at where this is, so that looks about right. And here as well. That looks like the spot. Okay. Put these and these and get rid of them. Okay. Set those back there. Okay. So let's just take a look. If we go to edge, we'll start testing this out. And let's see. So we're getting good loops there. The edges are here. 6. That's more than I want to be there. So undo this bridging there. Take this loop again. Okay, so I'm gonna go to vertex mode, pick that vert, hit the period, type, go to 3D cursor, then pick that whole edge. What? And then we're gonna period to the 3D cursor. What is going on? Medium points there. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean 3D cursor. Oh, right. Okay, so if I have a vert selected, I need to move the cursor to selected, and now move from the 3D cursor, pick this whole edge, and scale on the X just to pull these guys like back. So that's more of what I want to be happening. Okay. And I'm gonna snap these to this lighter gray surface, so I'm not too worried about the shape of them right now, like, or how that these come up high like that. So realistically, I can just pull all this up because it's all just gonna get snapped right back to this. So I'm going to. Well, I guess I can extrude in the Z again. And scale in the X, just pull those in again. Then we're going to switch to median for the pivot, scale in the Y, sort of that way. Okay. Now let's do that edge thing again. Start bridging these. And I think we want to add 2 loops there so that we can make, if we go to vertex mode, pick this vert, nat vert, and tap F. This vert, nat vert, tap F. Go to edge mode. Oops. Let's pick these 4 edges, face, tap F for face, tap F for face. Okay. Alright, so this looks all crazy like a rhino nose or something like that. So what I'm going to do is pick these edges and just sneak them forward ever so slightly so I can see this gray. Go to invert mode. Okay, and I'm just going to pick just those 2 objects. And hit Shift H. And I think overall that's cool. So going to edit, not for that one, for this one. Turn on my snap. I'm going to snap to faces with the background or the project to other objects. Tap the G key, and click, hit escape. Yeah, and everything's now snapped nicely onto our original shape. Oh, those got a little crazy. Damn it. Let me undo that real quick. Why did that happen? No, I'll redo it, and I'll just turn off my snap and just slowly sort it out. There we go. Close enough. I'm going to turn the background snap back on real quick. This. Just so it snaps, it stays snapped to the little surface there. That looks about even. It's totally fine. Turn off snap. Okay. So we're gonna call this gray one, or this darker gray one, toe cap. The topo for retopologized and drag that in here. Oh, and I can't type apparently. This says top cap, not toe cap. Toe cap, okay. So we'll pick the gray one, hide, call this toe cap. Let's do target toe cap. Take this, tap M, move it to that layer. Come into this guy. Let's show everything else with Alt H. Okay, so for right now, we know we can take this guy, also move that to our construction zone. Now I've got this toe cap. Go to materials. Appears I do have one for toe cap. There we go. Edit mode. Okay, so then the whole time what I've been trying to do is take this guy and switch to say normal and scoot it out. That was what all that fuss was about. Oh, definitely picked the wrong handle there. There we go. Just push that up above the surface. Just looking at this. Yeah, there's a seam there. Okay, so that's sewn on top. I'm going to turn my snaps back on. Go to top view maybe. Just tap the G key. And so that is snapped to the surface, but it's not quite where it needs to be. So I'll turn my snap back off. Just push that till I can see this whole edge. So that looks fine. Let's see, both of these can come out a little bit, just so that that's uncovered. Do the same probably here. Probably don't want to touch these two too much, just because they're this nice intersection. So let's take this guy and just scoot him a little more. Good enough. Okay. So now that's a better. So this is kind of actually also a target, I suppose, but it's just a little bit better, I think, for us to snap to, or to snap this piping stuff to. Okay. So that's the toe cap retopo. Let's try to go back to this layer, grab one of these flat. Shift D, move that back to here. Go back to here, okay. So go to top view. This is another time where if some transparency came into play, that'd be awesome, but it's not. Scale on the X. Oh, about like that. We'll say. So I think the way I'm going to try to do this now is to turn off the modifier. Just pick this. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do what I did before with the other background snap. So Shift H with those two selected. Just trying to get this be about as close as I can to that. We'll see how this goes. Should probably also take these, pick all these verts, set this to global, scale X0, just to flatten those out to be safe. Cool. We can also add an edge loop there to sharpen that up a little bit. To sharpen up that corner. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to edit mode here. Background snap, tap G, escape. Control tab to get out of that. Damn screen cascades. Jesus. Okay. So now what I'm going to try to do is this. stuff down just about to there. Okay, so now I'm gonna maybe try again. Look into the knife tool. So starting this side's a little easier to explain what I'm trying to do. I basically want to take all these verts, get rid of those. Oops. Okay. Just to have a little less mess hanging off here. So for example, I'm gonna come into here. Oops, top view. My snap is off. I'm gonna turn my snapping back on. I'm just gonna drag. Let's see where that lands. So that's pretty much what I was, almost what I was trying to do. I'm gonna drag this a little further inward this way. Do the same with this one. Let that snap onto the surface. Same here. So now all of a sudden I'm just basically shortening these polygons. Probably made a mistake there. It's okay. I'll just do what I can do, and then I'll go back and add the geometry where it needs to be. So, again, sorry. Let me fix my shading a little bit here, so you can see what the hell's going on. Okay. I'm gonna pick both of these and slide them until they hit the surface. Yeah, these can come up here. Oops. Okay. So you can see now how they're like kind of wrapping onto the surface, which is going to, I think, work out okay for what we're doing, I think. So I'll take all this. So just kind of tracing the shape as we go around here. Okay. Pull these in farther. Just taking a look here. So realistically, let's see, it's almost like I want this edge. I'm just gonna tap E to extrude and hit escape and just drag them sort of downward and then in the Y direction a little bit. Sorry. Just a little bit. I'm gonna go to the back view. Yeah. Really just trying to like wrap this around the side of the shoe basically, just so that when those pipes come around they just have a place to be hidden by the sole. That's all I'm doing. So those are come over. Let's see. Let's look at it this way. So pick this edge, extrude, hit escape, drag it down. Cool. What's the best way to fill this junk in? Let's see. Well, you can always just extrude it. Take a vertex. Wait, I'm gonna click this one here to merge vertices. So just if I should snap this to vertex. What? No. Snap to vertices. Snap onto self, is that the problem? Okay, yeah. It didn't have snap onto self turned on. So come up here. Just gonna align that with that snap and drag. No, I don't want that to snap to that, or no. Turn off the snaps here. So it basically looks like, okay, I think what I'm gonna have to do is something kind of like this, where these are all kind of the same distance-ish from the edge. And we'll see why in a second, I think. Turn my snap back on. Two faces. Okay. Just making sure those are all snapped to the surface, like these aren't snapped. So with these, just tap G, click, and they're snapped back to the surface. Okay. So pretty much this will have to move. This all has to move kind of inward, I think, just to accommodate the shoe shape. It's quite a manual process, as you can see, but I don't know that there's any other way to do this. So I'm going to try to sort out a little bit of this at a time. So I'm going to go into edge mode, extrude on the Y. Just going to try to get these close, like they're not. These are not touching. Like, so this edge is not like that. This vertex and that vertex aren't merged. I'm just doing it close. So extrude, not in the X and the Y. I like that. Something like that, I think, is how I have to do this. Oh yeah, okay. Pick the same number. They'd all be sort of scrunched up, I guess. Oh, that's sort of inconvenient. Well, we'll see if I can do it with any sort of stair stepping. So, okay. The other way to do this is to just pick your vertices. You know what? We're not going to do it that way. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. So, EY. Pull it out like that. Let's see if this works. Remove doubles. Nope. It's got to be real close for that to work, so okay. Okay. So that merged those together. Extrude in the Z. Vertex mode. I'll merge that together. Do the same here. So we're going that way. Oops. Turn off my snapping for a second. So let's see if these guys are really kind of running on this whole edge. It's like at some point they gotta go away. I don't want them to all be crunched, continually crunched up. You can see how it's getting wider now. They're crunching this way. Yeah, that's quite a problem. Hold on a second, let me look at this real quick. Right, but then these aren't going the right direction. Okay, so now what I'm wondering is if it wouldn't make more sense. Here, let me just shifty duplicate that guy. Yeah, okay. Here's what I'm gonna try out. Pick all this shit. Actually, all this shit. No, just this. Delete. Stupid cursor to the center. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick all these. Shift D. Just move them in the X. Out to here. Now I'm going to. Also, you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Pick both of these edge loops. Control E. Bridge them. Okay. So pick these edges, scale in the Y. So I think this is more or less what we're actually trying to do, is just sort of shrink everything down. Let's see. Don't worry about it. Well, okay, scale in the Z, just sort of flatten those out. Oops. This weird flip thing happening. Okay, so let's say that we're not going to worry about this little bit. We'll maybe pull these guys forward later. But for right now, let's just get them so they're both this vert and this vert are above the surface, so that when I snap them onto the background, they have a place to land. Something like that. Okay. Other thing I want to make sure I'm doing. Put these down, I think. Okay. So that's like a super primitive shape, and we'll have to adjust things out this way as we add a bunch of loops. We'll shape them to fit this. But I think at the end of the day, this is basically what has to happen, is that there need to be the same number of loops all the way, or from one end to the other. So turn on my snapping, set it to face. Don't want that. Doesn't need to snap to itself, so I'm just going to tap G, click, and there they are, just all laying on the surface now, so that's good. Real quick, I'm going to go back into this guy, not that guy. This one that we had hidden, just to double check how many edges there were. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like 9 cuts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Click, escape. And what we'll do is just try this with the snap still turned on. We scale on the Y. Up to there. Yeah, I probably want to do this from top view, I suppose. So you're just trying to get this close to that. Doesn't need to be perfect, but we'll say that's good for right now. Pick this row, scale on the Y. Just gotta kind of get in the ballpark. Good, that is just barely hanging on. Scale on the Y. Maybe a little less than that. Or maybe I'll just drag these that way a little bit. Do that again. That up and scale on the Y. Good there. Just a little bit less. Okay. Alright, so for the most part this is working. We got to drag this bottom row of stuff down once we get the rest of these in place, but so far this is doing what I want it to do, so Okay. Once again, we'll scale on the Y. Smash these up bits. Sort these out a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much working on our shape. So maybe I'll do is pick all these guys, go to the back view, just drag them down a bit. I think what I want to do is scale on the Z by 0. Okay, let's see, what's the shear? Control Alt S? No. No. Where the fuck is shear? Mesh, transform, shear. Control Shift, wow, it's like 7,000 keys. Control Shift Alt S, awesome. And I want to strand this on the Y. Just kind of want to get them on an angle, something like that. Turn off my snap for a minute. So is that Control Shift Alt S? Tap the X, Y maybe. Just drag that till it's this. Let's say we're just gonna go, halfway, 2/3 of the way down with all these, just to make it simpler. And it really doesn't matter if this is like, these are perfectly straight, to be quite honest, or at least I don't think it does at this point. Or if they match up exactly with this edge, doesn't matter. We're just trying to get it to be wrapping over the edge more or less. Turn the snap back. This video is gonna be long as shit. Okay. Turn my background snap back on. Scoot this guy over. Back view. Pick this edge. Just tap G so they snap into place up on this edge. That's good. We're just gonna do the same thing on the front side here. So hold it. Let's make selection visible. So just do this. What? I don't know why it's picking that one in the background. It should absolutely not be doing that. Wireframe real quick. Just pull that down just a little bit. So back to texture mode. Smooth these guys out a little bit. Totally fine. Okay. So again, we're not going to quite worry about this toe cap just yet. So like that, I am going to save this as 19 working, because that was a lot of work. Save. Okay. pretty much don't need this mesh anymore. That one's all jacked up. So I'm going to call this pipe A. Turn on, duplicate B. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to do that same business we did before with all the loop insertions. So 5 loops. Oops, sorry. 5 loops, not 4. Middle one. Alt S. Oop, hold it. Turn off the snap. So yeah, and actually, so okay, we're gonna I'm just thinking about what's gonna happen with these if we push this out. This is 1.7. Turn our subsurf on. Hold on. Smooth. Okay. So pick those 2 rows. Let's. Okay, so you can see that. Alt S. 1 is the amount that we liked for that, or I liked, I suppose. So I think we can go through and do that, and just go through and then pull these guys. Basically, I can just go into front view, turn my snap on, tap G, and it'll snap back. Oops. Like that. And let me real quick turn on, so that you can see, just sort of mushes it flat. Where's the soul assembly? So I might have to do another row like these 2, or these as well. Just tap G. That's maybe not the direction I wanted to do that from. But anyways, it looks like I mean, maybe this isn't the worst deal in the world. But anyways, maybe I'll just start with the first ones and then see how this looks later. So let me hide the soul. Boom. Sorry. Back into this. Oops. Alright, turn off A and do B. Damn it, my snap's still on. Sorry, 1.7. No. Alt S. Alt S. Thank you. 1. Getting there. Oops, sorry. Oh man, that's fucking weird. Hold on. So I might take these, since it's just doing weird stuff because it's looking at the normals. These aren't so bad, these are fine. They're a little bit sort of pimped out there, but not a huge deal. This one is more extreme. So with that whole row selected, I'm going to scale it on the X0. And I think I'm just going to slide it back. Nope, I don't want to slide it back. I just want to move it back. Let's see how this goes. Alt S. 1. A little jacked up, but not outrageous. Oof, okay. 0. Let's try to move this. Yeah, toe's goofy. So what I'm gonna do is just scale it on the Y for right now. See how that goes. Still pokes out. Let's see how that resolves. Okay, Alt S. About 1. So not perfect here, but not horrific either. So yeah, let's do that again. SX0. Scale it on the Y. SX0. Scoot on the Y. Scale it on the Y. And with the soul turned on, I mean, not bad. Pretty much there. I think some of this can get sort of flattened out, but we'll take a look at that in the next video. This one's probably for fucking ever. Do save as 20 again.